they going out broke, they want showing me love. Back in and on the one.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JHARBB, and we doing something different. But this gonna be the lane I'm in, man. We gonna do some NFL playoff predictions, man. I've been on Twitter going crazy about my takes. I don't ever allow people to know my takes, and I'll be so mad when my takes be right and I don't get credit for it. So we gonna predict the playoff bracket this year. I predict playoff brackets in the past. Like my dad, friends asked me who y'all think gonna win. I think it was that 2022 playoffs. I literally predicted every single game correctly to a T that year. I think that's when the Chiefs and the Eagles made it and the Chiefs beat them like 38-35. But man, without further ado, we're gonna get into this playoff predictor right here. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And let's get into the video. Alright, first off, we're gonna start with the AFC real fast. We're gonna start with the AFC. Cause I feel like that's not more than I know, but my team is on this side. I don't wanna be biased. And I don't wanna be biased. If bias does come out, forgive me. But I promise you, this is just how I feel in my heart of hearts, man. Let me know who y'all fans is. If y'all team even make the playoffs this year, let me know all that, man. Let's start up here. We gonna go the Patriots-Chargers game, man. So, look, man. The Patriots, they've had literally one of the easiest schedules in NFL history, bro. Like, not just this year. In NFL history, gang. NFL history. They've only beaten one playoff team. One playoff team the entire season was Buffalo at home or Buffalo away. And then the Chargers, man, O-line is a deficiency on their team. No George, no Rashad Slater for the whole year. We know that. They have 31st pass block win rate and 32nd run block win rate, which is pretty shaky. But the only thing is about the Patriots is that they don't really get to the quarterback at a high rate. That's kind of their real weakness on defense, is they don't really pressure the quarterback that consistently. Drake Mason having an MVP season against all these cupcakes. Going up against the Chargers, secondary defense, them boys out there, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Jim Harbaugh coaching. After last year, they literally crashed out in the playoffs against my Texans. 4 interceptions by Justin Herbert, man. This is a hard game to predict. Because me personally, I want the Patriots to win. I would rather the Patriots advance for my own personal agenda. In my brain, though, I feel like this is going to be a real shaky, confusing game. Just kind of like that game against the Eagles a couple weeks back. The Chargers were low-key supposed to lose. And somehow their defense clamped up so hard and Justin Herbert was able to make a couple plays to win. So we might do 2 of these. That's what I'm saying. We might go do 2 of these brackets. For the first bracket, I'm going to take the Chargers, man. We're going to take the Chargers. All right, next. Jacksonville and the Bills, man. Jacksonville and the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen needs this game bad. You cannot go out in the first round as your talent and your quarterback and what you sought out to do. You supposed to be on a team, got a new contract, $300 million, balling all season. 6 touchdowns this week, you know what I'm saying? He been having a lot of duds, though. People don't want to talk about his bad games. Number 1 rushing leader in the entire NFL in James Cook. A top 2, maybe top 1, definitely top 3 offensive line. Especially if Deion Dawkins is able to play. Receivers are but damn, the receivers look decent against the Jets. I know it's the Jets, but Keon Coleman was hoping. All of that, man, y'all have great tight ends. Dalton Kincaid, Kevin Knox. Man, whatever them goddamn names. It's Knox, Kincaid, and them boys. And they have one more. Y'all have a great scheme. Y'all know the scheme. Joe Brady knows the system. He's been there forever. Jacksonville Jaguars, man, they've been hot. They've really looked like, quote-unquote, the best team over the past month and a half. playing teams like the Broncos, which I never believed in the first place. Literally never believed in the first place. When they beat them, everybody anointed the Jazz like, oh my God, this is the team now. But I feel like the Broncos are frauds as well. Watching their games are just so disgustingly ugly. Like, and I feel like their defense is overrated. It's still a great defense. Good defense. Good defense, not great. It's a good defense, but I feel like they are overrated when they're not able to generate the crazy amount of pressures that they can do. They do get picked apart on the back end, and their run defense. So sometimes. Can I see Josh Allen losing in the first round? Of course I can. To a team like this that is better, if Travis Etienne is able to dominate the run game and Leon Coleman is cooking with those plays, the Bills' defense can get shredded. We have seen that this year. They can get shredded. But over the past month or so, Buffalo Bills' defense has tightened down a great amount. They have like a top 2, top 3 pass defense. And Trevor Lawrence back in the playoffs again when all the chips on the table and Josh Allen has to win. Trevor's been cooking. The vibes are insanely crazy in Jacksonville. I ain't gonna lie, they're insanely crazy. Just as easily, that's what this playoff bracket is insane. Because a lot of teams could lose in the first round, and a lot of the teams that might lose in the first round could have made it to the championship game if they don't lose in the first round. These matchups are crazy. But we're gonna go with the Bills, man. We gonna go with the Bills for this rendition of the playoffs. Josh Allen goes. Damn, I got two away teams going over there and knocking off the top seeds, man. Kind of crazy, man. So next matchup, Pittsburgh Steelers and my Houston Texans, man. I am from the H, man. I am from the H. I do not want to be biased, but I will try to give y'all my best analysis on this matchup. Aaron Rodgers, 41 years old, bro. We seen how he was against the Browns a couple weeks ago. Literally, that was 2 weeks ago. We seen how he was against the Browns and Myles Garrett. We seen how he was when a cornerback like Denzel Ward is able to one-on-one lock down his main target he can just key on. Aaron Rodgers loves picking apart man defenses. He loves finding his one-on-one matchups and delivering balls in the places where the defense cannot catch the ball. Against the Texans, a lot of that stuff is going to be real complicated and real hard when you have Derek Stingley on DK Metcalf or Kamari Lassiter on him. We're literally going to be, let me not say we, the Texans are going to be able to basically, bro, they literally, how do I put this? Texans literally just say line the fuck up and let's go, bro. They don't disguise pressures. They don't disguise coverages and packages. They literally just line up in quarters and react to whatever you do. And they're just fast enough to get to where they need to be every single time. DK Metcalf, Adam Thielen, God dang, they got some bullshit over there. But, cut that out. Do I think that the Pittsburgh can generate offense against this Texans defense? No, I don't. If I had to really give a prediction on points for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would say around 10 to 13 points. If you can't score more than 6 points on the Browns, this Texans defense is going to suffocate, especially because the last couple of weeks, maybe they gave up a couple big plays because some people have been out in certain situations, like that Chargers game. Christian Johnson got a couple big plays because Kamari Lassiter got nicked out of a drive and we had to put our backup in. Same with the Colts games, had our backups in that corner. The type of defense we play, if people are not on the same page, it will break our whole defense down. The Texans offense has been coming through and really showing up lately. Like a lot of people sleep on the Texans because they don't watch every snap of their games. They just listen to what other people tell about them, or they just be like, oh, last season I seen them those couple times in prime time and they didn't really do nothing. This is an entire different system under Nick Caley and an entire new and rejuvenated offensive line. A lot of the negative plays that the Texans used to make in the past have been totally negated and cut out. Pre-snap penalties, holding calls, a lot of those drives in the past that they used to be able to go on, all used to get negated and basically deaded the whole drive because of pre-snap penalties by Laremy Tunsil. He literally had 14 himself last year. Traded him, addition by subtraction. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Christian Kirk, and Xavier Hutchinson are going to be real big pieces on this offense outside of Nico Collins. We already know what Nico Collins is going to do. Dalton Schultz has an emerging year this year compared to last season. He's really been balling. Cade Stover, our backup tight end, has done really well in the run game, blocking, different schemes. Woody Marks is a really elusive back, man. If y'all get slices and holes, he'll be able to cut up the defense. The Steelers' defense, though, is going to be a real story because this game really might come down to who can not turn the ball over and who can just play possession football. Because it might be a punt game. If CJ Stroud isn't able to check to certain coverage or check to certain packages on offense and get the blocking schemes right, TJ Watt and Highsmith and Cam Hayward, they will wreck the game. But the Texans on the other end, Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, they will wreck the game too. Tommy Togiai, that's Simone. Y'all better look up him about the Texans, man. But I ain't going to hold y'all too long on this video, man. Y'all probably already knew who I'm going to pick. I'm taking the Texans on this matchup. And that's how we going to roll right now. That's how we going to roll. I'm taking the Texans to really win pretty convincingly in that game. The Jaguars-Bills game, I feel like that's going to come down to the last final play, the last drive, the last 2 to 3 minutes. And Josh Allen's going to be able to make a play, and Trevor Lawrence might throw an interception or a fumble, and we might see, old Trevor a little bit, even though Trevor's very talented. I mean, we all know how he was in college, #1 pick, supposed to be generational, best prospects is Andrew Luck. They've been playing great. As easily, they could also win that game. New England in the Chargers game, I feel like Drake May is going to really get hit in the face. Not figuratively, not in real life. Really get hit in the face by what the Chargers are going to throw at him defensively. He has not seen a defense like that all year. They have not played a defense like the Chargers in that pass game and in that rush all season. And we've seen if teams want to clamp up Drake May just like the second half of that Buffalo Bills game, they are able to do that. In certain packages, disguise packages, and all that on defense, they were able to confuse Drake May and basically take their offense completely out the game. But boom, bada boom. Second round of the playoffs, man. We got the Broncos versus the Chargers and the Texans versus the Bills. Look at that, man. 3 road teams go on the road and win in the wild card. Wouldn't that be a wild weekend? That's exactly what wild card weekend is for. Broncos-Chargers matchup. Justin Herbert versus Bo Nix, man. I don't even want to talk about too much about this game. The Broncos don't really scare me, but this matchup is a terrible matchup for the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Their weakness is the Broncos' main strength, getting to the quarterback and then trying to protect the QB. In Mile High, in Denver, that crowd rocking. Justin Herbert got his playoff win. I feel like this is where that road will end. I feel like this is where it will come to a stop. Everybody just say, great year by Justin Herbert. He didn't have much to work with on the offensive line. He got him a playoff win, and this is where they lose. Denver Broncos advance to the AFC Championship game. Texans versus the Buffalo Bills in NRG Stadium in Houston, man. We already know. We've already been seeing we've already been seeing basically Josh Allen and the Houston Texans. It's basically a lock, kind of, sort of. I don't want to disrespect Josh Allen and that team, but Houston has Josh Allen's number. They know exactly what they want to do. They know exactly how to stop Josh Allen. They know how to get at him, pressure him, make him feel uncomfortable. Their strength on defense is the Bills' weakness. Their receivers are not as talented going against this Texas defense. Derek Stingley and Kamari Lash can completely negate anything they have going on the outside. The only minor weakness for the Texans is their tight ends. Well, is guarding tight ends. But it really won't matter when Will Anderson and them is getting to Josh Allen and causing havoc. Woody Marks in that run game, I feel like, will start getting going. C.J. Stroud has found success against that Buffalo defense. Even though he didn't play him this year, Davis Mills was able to get in there and still pretty productive. NRG, Houston, Buffalo coming into town to go to the championship game. I got the Houston Texans advancing. The Denver Broncos versus the Houston Texans in the AFC Championship game. The two best defenses in this conference. I feel like that's the only right outcome unless these two face each other in the divisional round, which could be very likely because I did pick road teams in this first round. The Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans, man. Houston, that first game they did play this year, was the only game they did play this year. Houston looked very formidable on offense against this defense in that first quarter. In the half before CJ got concussed, that defense was on Bo Nix's tail the entire game, got him with a pick, just made him look really bad and uncomfortable, like a lot of times Bo Nix has looked this year. I feel like Nico Collins is going to be able to get work against Pat Surtain, surprisingly. If he doesn't shade him, Riley Moss will get cooked. Will get cooked against Nico if he's on his side. Phil. The Texans O-line is much improved from last season. The defense will be able to get after CJ Stroud, but I feel like CJ's quick release and his touch on these in-breaking routes and the connection he has with his receivers will be able to get them first downs and yards and in field goal range. It's gonna come to in this game. It'll come down to who can score touchdowns and who has to settle for field goals. Even though Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton is a great red zone threat, they do really good in the red zone when they do get in there. The Texans and Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley know how that kind of went that first game. They might got that one little touchdown. Bo Nix is going to be running a lot in this game if they do match up. The only thing that scares me about this matchup is Bo Nix's legs and how the Texans play defense. Bo Nix would be able to get a lot of first downs and runs if he's able to take advantage of them. But I feel like the Texans' overall defense will be able to basically stifle a lot of their offense, and it'll be a close, hard-fought victory, probably won by a field goal, and I got the Texans advancing to the Super Bowl, man. NFC now. We'll go to the NFC side. I don't want to go too in-depth with the NFC, even though I like a lot of these matchups coming out. We got the Bears and the Packers in the first round. Now, the Bears' defense is very, 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 very shaky. Very shaky. They rely on a lot of turnovers. They get ate up a lot. They try to do a bend, don't break defense, but they just end up breaking. The Packers are dealing with a lot of injuries. Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons. They had to pick up Trayvon Diggs. Jordan Love coming off a concussion. Do we know how he's going to be? We will not know. Playoffs, he had that one great first playoff game. He's really been kind of poo-poo in his last couple too. So he really needs this. He needs to come through. But I feel like the Bears offense will be able to get a lot of great looks against this Packers defense because of Ben Johnson and his play calling. So I have the Bears advancing in this first matchup. The Eagles and the 49ers. The Eagles defense has been the best defense over the past month and a half to 2 months, they've been clamping down teams even when their offense can't do a single thing. I'm talking about 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. That defense could break at any time, and it just doesn't. The 49ers are dealing with injuries like Ricky Pearsall. If Trent Williams is there, if he can't go. We already know Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. I have no trust in their defense. I honestly feel like the 49ers overachieved a lot in this season, even with their easy schedule. But I feel like people put the 49ers way too high and put them in an expectation that they're not in. I feel like this is an not easy, but very comfortable win for Philly if Saquon can definitely get going in that run game and start gashing them. So I have Philly advancing in this first round matchup. And then Rams-Panthers. Panthers been looking sorry over the past month. They really didn't expect to even be in this position. They don't even want to be here. They're happy they're here. They're hosting a playoff game. Devontae Adams might be coming back for the Rams. Rams blow out the Panthers, especially after they lost that game earlier this year. Yeah, definitely gonna blow out the Panthers, and then we're gonna have Seattle and the Rams, and we're gonna have the Bears and the Eagles. Seattle off a bye. Was it good for him? Was it not? Sam Darnold got the monkey off his back, got the 1 seed, won a big game, even though he didn't play great at all. So I feel like the Rams getting their get back right here. Devontae Adams is here. Devontae Adams would be back. They did not have him that last go around. And Matthew Stafford is probably coming off an MVP season. They're going to be ready against that defense. That 30-37 game was insane. That's probably the only team this year besides the Buccaneers that shredded that defense. I got the Rams coming through. Sam Darnold going back kind of to who we know he is, even though he had a great year. That Rams front, Jared Verse and them boys, Lake wasn't there that last time. They're safe on their corners, so I feel like they're going to be able to come through in a tightly contested game. Probably 23-20. Rams come away with it, man. Bears, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's strength is going to be against the Bears' strength. The Bears' offense and Philadelphia's defense is going to be the telltale of this game. If the Eagles are able to win that first game against the 49ers, I feel like their offensive funk is kind of going to be put to bed. I feel like Jalen Hurts in these playoffs are going to be able to use his legs, really, really get out of the pocket, make things shake, pick up first downs, hard yards when it's not there. He's going to be forcing the ball to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and they're really finding their stride in these couple games going against these defenses, the 49ers and then the Bears defenses. I feel like they're going to start looking a lot like how they did last year, and people are going to kind of be surprised. But they have the pieces to do so, even though their offensive line isn't as great as it usually is. I feel like the pieces in that system is going to be able to catch another gear against these subpar defenses that they will face. So I have the Eagles pulling it out in this matchup. Boom, bada boom. Eagles, LA Rams, NFC Championship game. Who you got in Philly? I got the Rams advancing to the Super Bowl, man. I feel like it's just Matthew Stafford and that offense, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams. They're just too prolific. Sean McVay with that play calling. This is going to be an insane game. I would love to see this Eagles-Rams game because that defense, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean going against Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams is going to be cinema. Straight cinema. But that Rams defense was going to cause the Eagles some problems. If they're able to get to Jalen Hurts, maybe create a couple turnovers, and Matthew Stafford is just going to be throwing that bit down the field, man. Rams, Texans, Super Bowl. Who you got? Probably the best offense in the league versus the best defense in the league. How else would you want it? I don't think you would want it any other differently than this. These two did play week one of this season. People probably don't even know this or even remember. They played week 1 in SoFi. It was a game that came down to the final drive. A game where Matthew Stafford looked human because of the defense was able to get to him, cause pressure. Matthew Stafford threw 1 touchdown pass, and the Texans were able to really hold true that entire game, only allowing 14 points. The Rams caused the Texans also some problems, but it was their first game with a new offensive coordinator, new system, new pieces. Woody Marks wasn't really a part of the Woody Marks wasn't a part of the offense at all for the Texans in that first game. They had Daryl Ungwale and other people at running back. That's kind of why they lost. I don't want to say that, but that is why they lost. Daryl Ungwale hasn't played that much since that matchup when he fumbled on the 20 inside the red zone driving with a minute left. CJ was walking him all the way down to win that game in SoFi, and I'm talking about a perfect punch to the ball. Was able to jar that ball loose against Daryl Ungwale, and the Rams were able to win that game off a couple knees after that. I feel like the Texans offense is way much more improved, and that defense is hungry. You know what they're doing against those players. And Sean McVay, D'Amico Ryans is going to be ready for this matchup. This would be a beautiful Super Bowl. Best defense versus best offense. And I got the Texans as your 2026 Super Bowl champions, man. Who would have thought a team that started 0-3, a team that started 0-3 in the season will be able to rally, go 9 straight at the end of the year, and go into the playoffs as a wild card and come away Super Bowl champions, man. Let me know what y'all think about my predictions. If I'm just a complete jackhead, if I don't know what I'm talking about, if I don't know anything, if y'all like my predictions and who I have winning. I know a lot of people hate on the Texans and CJ Stroud. They don't think they can do it. All I say is y'all don't watch enough Texans games. Y'all don't see what's going on and see the improvements they're making. And really know what happened over the past couple of years on why some of those teams didn't pan out. Texas Super Bowl champions, man. Let me know how y'all feel, man. Like, comment, and subscribe, man. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.
You know how we played it now. I'm MIA, might be Vegas. Thank God I went legit. Swerve. Swerve. Thank God I went legit. Swerve.